Coach, we have breaking news. Oh no, we need like a sounder. I'm telling you, I'm pulling Alex in on the show. We need like a breaking news. The Gonzaga Bulldogs joined the Pac-12 conference. Coach, I know you and I are football guys, but good Lord, this conference in basketball just went bananas. We're talking San Diego State was in the Final Four a couple years ago. We all know the Elite Eight run that the Beavs had. We know that, Gonzaga, powerhouse year after year after year, now joins the conference. Coach, Mark Few, the Bulldogs, come on, man. I know you're a basketball guy. We talked basketball and college hoops before. How excited are you to see the Bulldogs joining the Pac-12?
Wow, this is a great addition to the Pac-12 Bulldogs. They're one of the premier basketball teams in the country. Mark Few has done an outstanding job. He's an Oregon guy. I know Mark a little bit, not great. I actually flew up the game about 5 years ago to go watch them play. We got in his office. He spent some time with us. It was a great trip. And I think this is a fantastic addition to the Pac-12. It makes that basketball league even better.
Well, welcome back to the Nick and Nigel Show. I don't even know what week we're on, Coach, because I am right now in just football Valhalla. By the way, the Nick and Nigel Show, of course, is brought to you by our friends at Claude Felcher's Pub at 1501 Northwest Monroe Avenue in Corvallis. It's the place to go before, during, and after the game, and our friends at MDI Management for exceptional luxury apartment living in Oregon's Mid-Willamette Valley. Remember, you can catch us on the Pac-12 Insider on Samsung TV Plus, channel 2392, on all Samsung connected TVs, or on Amazon Freebies. Search Nick and Nigel. You can also do the same thing on the Pac-12's YouTube page. Coach, I know you're in college football Valhalla as well, aren't you? Look at you. You look fantastic.
All the time. Saturday, I put in a shift, baby. 6 a.m. till midnight. That's 18 hours of football.
6
a.m. Never left.
Were you watching football in Brazil? Or were you talking about 6 a.m.?
Well, I watch Game Day.
Oh, okay.
I watch Game Day, start the day with Game Day. Then I watch game after game after game, and I love it. I love this time of the year. I love it.
Oh, so you saw Miss Terry? I saw Miss Terry was on the show and all that stuff. Hey, Can I tell my 15-second Nick Aliotti story? Or Nick Saban story? I got a lot of Nick Aliotti stories.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so I'm coaching at Portland State. I got a linebacker job come up. Phone rings. I pick it up. Hey, is this Coach Burton? This is Nick Saban, University of Alabama. Oh, hey, Coach, how are you? He says, hey, heard you got a linebacker job open. And I got a guy. His name is Lester Times. Lester played for me in Miami Dolphins. He proceeds to talk, Coach, for the next 4 minutes. I ain't got a word to it. I'm just listening on the phone. So finally, he takes a breath, and I'm like, Coach, hey, but before you say anything else, I am familiar with Lester. He goes, really? I said, yes. We played together at the University of Washington. He says, really? I said, yes. We were also roommates at the University of Washington. He's like, what? I go, he was also the best man at my wedding. I just want to know if he can coach. Needless to say, I ended up hiring Les, and it all worked out. But yeah, that was my Nick Saban phone call moment. So
that's a great story. It looks to me like Miss Terry runs the show there.
I'm sorry. You telling me Miss Cap doesn't run the show?
No, Saban looks like he's controlled. I am not controlled.
Well, hey, you know what else was not in control? His name is Ashton Jeanty. Good Lord. And when you say good Lord, it's L-A-W-D, good Lord. My man, I'm sorry, Coach. Hands down, the best running back in the country. I don't care what school. I don't care. He is a menace to defenses across the country. 26 carries, 259 yards, 4 touchdowns against the Cougs as the Cougs fall in Boise 45-24, Coach. I mean, we knew he was the show. And look, it's not like Jake Dickert and his defense didn't understand the assignment. They packed the box. We have to stop him to have a chance to win this game. And my man made 5 dudes miss in a phone booth and then trucked the last 2 and was just gone repeatedly. It was crazy.
So far, nobody has contained that guy. Jeanty has been unbelievable. He can break tackles. You know what I love about him? Here's what I love about him. I used to coach running backs way back in the day, and I was a running back. And I used to tell my running backs, hey, we don't want any AHs, okay?
Was AH?
Jeanty, I'm going to explain. Jeanty never runs and gets an AH. An AH is when your ass is ahead of your head. Okay? That's what an AH is.
Is that Jeanty calling right now? Like, did you just call me an AH?
I know, I hate that happens. I'm on my wife's computer, and we're just going to have to deal with it. You know, I mean,
I got you.
But it'll add to the show, actually. You know, to keep our concentration with the phone ringing. You know, that's real pros doing that.
Well, Coach, all I know is he went bananas. I think we need to say a prayer before the end of the show for whoever right now it looks like next on the kill list is Utah State. We got to say a little prayer for the Aggies because that man is something else. John Mateer had another great day, 26-37, 327 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. I think the biggest key in that game that was, I think, an issue was I think the Broncos also figured out the game plan, the special sauce of how you slow down Wazoo. It's, back in the day, you played zone and tried to, it's really limiting their ability to run because even though they have a lot of run and shoot system, a lot of run and shoot elements in their pass game, their ability to run the football is so critical, I think, to Washington State's offense. They held them to 2.3 yards a carry. They held Mateer. We've seen some of his crazy runs over the course of the season against Washington, San Jose State. They limited a lot of that after that first play of the game. And I think that really hurt Washington State's ability to really keep things clicking and really be able to keep pace with Boise State's offense.
Yeah, Mateer had another good game, but you're exactly right, Nigel. Boise State was able to stop the run after that first series pretty much. Mateer had 90 yards rushing, but when it was all, as far as running the ball, when it was all said and done, he got sacked 7 times, which really distorted that. Boise put a lot of pressure on Washington State. Now, all that being said, I still think Washington State can run the table. I don't see a team on their schedule that can beat them. And I think we were both concerned about this game at Boise on that blue turf because Boise's a really good football team.
No question, Coach. They got the checkerboard end zones coming up after their bye week this week. They head down to Fresno, which I think they're going to need a bye to, one, all those bruises that Jeanty put on them, heal up a little bit. And Fresno State is 3-2 right now. And we know going down to Fresno, you've been there before as a coach. I've been down there before as a coach. That is a hectic place to go and play. And then you look at the rest of their schedule. I'm with you, Coach, for why they'll be favored. San Diego State, even though it's on the road, we saw Oregon State dispatch of the Aztecs down there, so they should be favored in that game. Utah State at home, New Mexico on the road. And then we get the showdown between them and the Beavs. And if both of them continue to win, that'll be another epic game before wrapping up with Wyoming at home on Thanksgiving weekend. So obviously lots of things that they can continue to work on heading into this bye. But speaking of byes, our boys, the Beavs, had a bye this past weekend. Curious on your thoughts of what the Beavs needed to work on this bye weekend as they prepare for Colorado State coming in to Research Stadium. Coming up next on Nick and Nigel. Stick around. Welcome back to the second segment of Nick and Nigel, brought to you by, once again, our friends at Clodfelter's Pub in Corvallis, and also our friends at MDI Management for exceptional luxury apartment living in Oregon's Mid-Willamette Valley. Again, don't forget, you can find us on the Pac-12 Insider channel, Samsung Connected TVs, channel 2392, and on Amazon Freevee and on YouTube. Just type in Nick and Nigel. That's Nigel. Please do not misspell my name. All right, so just make sure you know that. Coach, we were talking about now that we're not on site at all the games together, first, I miss you. But you said the one thing that's great is there's an unlimited supply of potato chips when you're watching all the games at the house.
I tell you what, I put in a shift. When we used to be in that touchdown room, I used to smash those chips. I mean, it was a bad eating day. Saturday football season, those are bad eating days. Now, if a guy had discipline, it wouldn't be that bad. But I had no discipline. I mean, I remember you and I used to toss chips back and forth to one another.
No.
Try to entice.
No, stop.
Each other.
Stop. First of all, we need to pull Alex and Jenna into this show at some point, which I've already got that in the memory. This was going to happen. We're going to pull them in the show at some point.
I like it.
Right now, Coach Aliotti, for the first time in television history, lied. He just lied. He said we tossed potato chips back and forth. We did not. He just threw potato chips at me, and they were always Cheetos. He always threw Cheetos at me when we were in the room. And I used to I would say I took offense to it, but I usually just ate them. But speaking of which, what was funny was when I was at the game, Oregon State obviously coming off a bye this week, the last game we were at against Purdue when Oregon State handled Purdue. My buddies were asking me, hey, what's it like on the sideline? I said, dude, it's the greatest thing ever. Our guys at the CW set this sucker up. Coach, your guy's got his own touchdown room on the side. I got like a little desk, a chair, a mic that I can kind of walk around and like kind of jump in and out of the coaches' huddles and then come back to like my little area. They gave me, my man hooked me up with like all the little Oreos, the Cheetos. I think he called them and told them I needed some Cheetos, like the whole. So I literally got a little mini touchdown room on the sideline at Oregon State. It's fantastic. I didn't really want to leave, but they finally turned the lights on and told me I had to go. But speaking of having to go, the Beavs got to go this weekend against Colorado State. I don't know. Have you gotten a chance to do any research on the Rams at all?
I watched them against Colorado would be the most I could talk about. And they're a tough team. They play hard. They're a tough team. I just don't know if they have a quarterback that they're going to have to be able to run the ball, because I don't know if Colorado State has a quarterback that if I was being a defensive coach like Trent Bray is, that can beat me. So we're going to load the box. We're going to stop the run. We're going to make that quarterback try to beat you. And I think Oregon State will have that plan with their ball control run and playing great run defense.
Yeah, Coach, I'm with you. The quarterback Colorado State, Braden Fowler Nicolosi, his most famous moment is the trash talk in preseason with their everything wide receiver Troy Horton. And look, they had some words for the Buffaloes, and then the Buffaloes took out their frustrations on the Rams that day when the Buffaloes took out the Rams. But he's just athletic enough to get out of the pocket and do some stuff, but he's not Giovanni McCoy scary. He's not Jabari Johnson scary. He throws the ball well enough to do a couple things, but I don't see a guy who you're like, wow, he definitely doesn't throw the ball like John Mateer. I'm not even sure he throws the ball as well as Giovanni McCoy or Jabari Johnson for that matter. So it's interesting. I think the biggest issue for them lately has been the fact that we're talking about a guy in Torrey Horton who is their leading receiver who has been hurt the last couple of games. He's been out with a groin injury. It'll be interesting to see if he plays against Oregon State, because they have been anemic in the passing game without him out there. And so, not sure if he's going to end up playing or not in this game, but if he's not, they have to run the football or it's DOA for the Rams when they step foot in Fort Vallis.
Absolutely. And then speaking about the Beavers, I think they've looked very good this season. Obviously, it seemed a little bit of a mismatch. I hate to say that when they played Oregon, but other than that, they've looked very good in three of their games. They also, in my opinion, for Oregon State to take that step forward, they need to get more explosion plays in their passing game, because right now they're relying 85-90% on a good running game, which is okay. But you and I talk about all the time, in college football, it's hard to drive the field 75 to 80 yards without making a mistake. So that makes it very tough. So they need to get, and hopefully they've worked on this week, on finding some explosion plays in the pass game.
Yeah, that was what I was going to ask you, Coach. I think a lot of people are curious, what happens on these bye weeks? Is it just practice and whenever it, from my experience, and Coach, love for you to chime in, but typically, we would front load practice. So we didn't normally practice on Mondays. We practiced Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe a Thursday. Coaches would then fly out to go see recruits, go see guys on their campuses, all those different things during the season so that you can make those touch points with recruits during the season, give the kids the weekend off so they can just go be normal college students, maybe get a chance to go home, just deflate a little bit and then go back to work. But it's 2 weeks of working on one opponent. And again, I'm with you, Coach. I mean, in the last game, Trent Walker had a 34-yard pass play right before the half as the Beavs had that great drive. Darius Clemens came along. He's the guy, in my opinion, that if they're really going to stretch this pass game, he's got to be a part of it because he is a big body guy from right here in Portland, Oregon, Westview High School, transferred from Michigan. He was an all-world recruit. But, he's one of those kids, Coach, that I remember, we sat down and we talked to Oregon State staff, Ryan Gunderson and Trent Bray. And as much as Darius is this physical phenom when he walks in there, I mean, he walks in the door, you're like, whoa, okay, that's what they should look like. He's a better kid. Like, they talk about, like, how responsible he is, how locked in he is, how, like, all these different things. And you're like, all right, well, that means there's got to be this explosive moment that happens for him. We saw it on that drive going into the end of the first half where he caught a couple balls in a row, had the big crossing route where you could also tell, Coach, my man had not played in a while because he was gassed when he made that third catch. But, I think he's going to be key to this thing. Hey, maybe defensively, is there anything that you think Keith Hayward and this defense need to work on heading into this second half of the season?
Well, I think they've looked pretty good on defense. Keith has done a great job. I have a lot of respect for Keith. I think he's a good football coach. I think he connects with his players. I thought Purdue rushed for way too many yards. I mean, I would bet that if you talk to Keith Hayward and or Trent Bray, they gave up way too many rushing yards against Purdue. I think you go back, you do the things you said in your bye week. You front load, you get some practices in, the coaches go out recruiting, and then hopefully as a coordinator, you have a chance to self-scout, see what you've done that you like, that you did well, see what maybe you have to work on, and do those kinds of things. But they gave them too many yards rushing against Purdue. That was one thing that stood out.
This weekend is, once again, I know Wazoo's on a bye, but the Beavs taking on Colorado State. I'll be there live in the Technicolor. I'm still trying to work on getting Nick Aliotti come down and hang out with me on the sideline, but not sure he's going to do it. Can't wait to talk about it with you, Coach, next week. For Nick, I'm Nigel. Peace.